So, I was sitting back thinking and talking to a couple of friends and buddies. We was talking about relationships and how serious that people should take them if they look to marry an individual. We live in a world today where you won't even know that you're dating a narcissist, or you could be the narcissist that your significant other is dating. And what comes with dating a narcissist is pain. The pain that comes with dealing with a narcissist is way more different than life's trauma. I'm a person that's been through a lot growing up, coming from the hood. I've been through a lot of stuff. I've witnessed a lot of stuff. And the trauma that you can gain from being with a narcissist, it cannot compare to the trauma that one's life has seen in the streets. So if you've seen some people be shot, or if you shot people before or been shot, and you've went through this rigorous lifestyle of living because you grew up in an impoverished neighborhood, and you know what I mean, stuff like that. Um, that trauma doesn't work on you. But if you're an empath and you've dated or dating a narcissist, or your mom or dad is a narcissist, or your siblings are narcissists, or your favorite cousins are narcissists, or your best friend, whatever. That trauma is way different because the evil behind it on a spiritual level is compelling a person to strategically string you along. What do I mean by that? When you're dealing with a narcissist and you're dating or go with or married, because we're talking about relationships right now, and the seriousness of dating and the trauma bonds that pop up while dating, and one of them are dating a narcissist. And tomorrow I'm gonna share, because it's more than just dating a narcissist. It's dating people like me. I'm working on my financial stability. I jumped into a relationship before I was fully financial stable, so God is allowing me to deal with the fruit that comes behind that. I'm gonna even talk about that. We're gonna do segments of this. Carrying on. So when you're dealing with a narcissist and they're stringing you along, it's not because you're weak. It's not because you're dumb. It's because you're fearfully and wonderfully made. And what I mean by that is you have something in you that God has placed in you to attract somebody who wants to take. When you're dealing with a narcissist, they will take from you more than they give. And what they give, they'll give certain things that makes it look like a sacrifice. They're very strategic in everything they do. So if you bring this up in conversation, if you bring this up in an argument, they're going to say, well, I trusted you with my bank account. Let's just use that for an example. I trusted you with my bank account. I trusted you with this, with that. But in reality, those things don't mean nothing to them. The part that messes you up, you will find out when you're dealing with a narcissist, the things that's supposed to mean something to a regular human don't really mean nothing to them. And I know this sounds crazy, because me being a regular person with a bank account, I would be skeptical of who I trust with a bank account. But a narcissist will use that to get what they want from their supply. Narcissists uses supply to build their esteem or their self-esteem because they're shallow people. They haven't developed something in their self to look at their self and say, I'll be all right, or I'm all right, even when things are not all right. Narcissists, if you're dealing with one, married to one, dating one, you can have blunt facts, intricate, intricate, detailed facts about something you've observed. And you will enter this conversation, and when you leave the conversation, you will have this feeling like, I'm wrong, I did this, I did that. Because they have a smart way of turning things around and then making it your fault. So for instance, if you happen to, your man or your girl, your wife or your husband, you happen to pick up their phone and you see a notification from somebody named Bobby, I'm going to say either messenger or a text message. And it may say something slight like, thank you. I don't even know this person. I've never heard of Bobby. So you might want to go in there, especially if you are in a real relationship with this individual. You should have their password, especially if they have yours. If you don't have their password, politely ask them, hey, babe, what's your password? I want to look at something real quick on your phone. They get real defensive and want to fight you. Move it along. Let's just say if you happen to have the password and you go in there and you see thank you. And you read the thread and you see that nothing led to that thank you. So therefore, you know that something was erased. And you go to bring it. And before you even do that, you might do some slight investigating on the phone. You might look at social media account. You may look at some stuff. You may look at some inboxes, some emails. You might look at some stuff. You look at the stuff. And you see a couple things. Nothing too heavy, though. Nothing enough to be like, this is over. I'm leaving. But you see things that raise suspicions and you want to have a conversation because this is your man, this is your girl, this your hubby, this your wifey. This is somebody that you love. You just ain't gonna just be like, man, whatever, unless you're ignorant. Or it's a lot of damage done and you found out, but we'll go to that later. And you come to your significant other and you say, hey, I went to handle your phone because notification went off and, I'm not the one to normally do this. Or if y'all have that relationship, normally, I don't see nothing, so I keep pushing, but I seen this and I seen Bobby and he said thank you. And then I read the thread and it don't make sense. So you erased them. You erased some stuff. The narcissist not only is not going to give you an explanation, they're going to blow up on you. They're going to go off on you. And when they do that, they're going to throw things in the midst of it to try to deter from what you really asked. The fact that you need an answer because you just seen something that raised suspicion, you need an answer. And that's why you're talking, because you're trying to communicate. Communicating with narcissists is difficult because it's like you're having a communication with one person, but their rebuttals is like they're communicating with two different people. Narcissist mindsets are not as like the same as regular people. A narcissist is always down on themselves because of the things that they do in the dark. So you might have a narcissist that's fighting off depression, so forth. But let me get back to the analogy that I was doing, because I'm going to get into all of that. You may even try to sympathize because you don't want to believe that nothing shady going on, but you don't like what you're feeling energy-wise behind the little bit that you just seen. And so you're like, And then you see the rebuttal and the reaction of your significant other. So then that's drawing you to think deeper. I'm 31. So if I ask my girl, hey, what's this, what's that? And it's concerning somebody else and she blows up. One, I either didn't put her through this a lot and asking her and she's getting frustrated. Two, she's a narcissist. And narcissists don't like to be exposed. Now, I say that because exposure to a narcissist is like a man or a woman who's lost everything and has to walk through the shame around people that seen them have everything.